if you like deck building and gladiator arena fights, then you're going to want to check out For Glory. Let's take a little bit of a look at how this one plays. In this game, players will be trying to build the best deck that they can in order to win the arena battles and win 6 glory before their opponent can do so. They start with the same cards in their deck, but they'll shuffle them and just draw a hand of 7 every turn. They can play gladiators to different arenas once 2 of them have had people put at them. Those will be the 2 that are active for that round. Their starting ones do not have any kind of cost, but later gladiators may have a cost of having some kind of influence, which will be denoted by patrons that you put in your villa. They can play patrons to their villa when they have them in their hand, and that will allow them, as they get more influence, to play different kinds of gladiators out onto the battlefield. They can use income cards in their hand alongside coin tokens that they've gathered if they would like to buy different cards. There are 3 different stores to buy from. They can buy more income and patron cards, tactic and reaction cards, and of course more gladiators. They can also play scheme cards out of their hand to do whatever text is on those as well. This might be clearing out cards from the store, gaining more coins, or various other effects. Once they've done everything they need to do for their turn, play will go back and forth, and as players are putting more gladiators into battlefields, the bloodlust will tick up, and once it matches the number that is on whatever the top boast card is on the boast pile, then the battle will trigger. Players can late assign gladiators to the active battlefields if they can afford to do so, and then they will actually fight back and forth, starting with the player who has the highest agility, and then they will use somebody to attack, and then they will exhaust them once they are done doing whatever they have to do with them. Gladiators can get wounds on them until they've taken enough to be defeated, and players will get a coin whenever a gladiator is defeated, so they can use that later. Once you win an arena, you will get the points that are on it, and then you will also be able to move this sword to your side of the board and use that effect later on during the game if that is still on your side. The game will last as many rounds as it takes for someone to get 6 glory points, which are the blue gems here, and that player will win. I really like deck building, and I thought that this had a lot of unique elements to it. I really liked that there was 3 separate stores. I do prefer a rotating market to a stagnant one, and this had 3 separate markets where you could buy certain types of cards from each one, but they still rotated so you weren't always given the same options. I thought that was really neat, and it worked pretty well because if I wanted a tactic card, I didn't have to wait for one to come out. There was always tactic cards available. It just varied what was out in the store. I also really liked that you could get coin tokens so that you could save up and then buy something really expensive on a later turn and use those in conjunction with coin cards that you had. I thought that all of that was really interesting and made for a pretty unique feel as far as deck building goes. I did like the arena battles because, of course, that is the main point of the game, is trying to defeat the other player to get those points, but I did think that sometimes it felt a little bit clunky. There was a lot going on in the center. You always had to count for bloodlust, and you had to pay attention to a lot of different abilities on both sides of the battlefield. And sometimes that was a little difficult, especially if you went into one arena with just a ton of gladiators, which happens a lot toward the end of the game, I noticed, because you're just trying to get that last point that you need and win the game. So sometimes that felt a little bit clunky, but overall, if you like deck building and you like this theme or this style of 1v1, then it's definitely worth checking out. You can see my full thoughts on the blog today. See if this one's for you.